Hello, and it's wonderful to be sitting here and talking to you, Abraham. First, I would like to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for the service that you bring, the inspiration. 5 years ago, when I was first introduced to you and your friends and all of your work, I was not the person then that I am now. And I have to give that thanks to you and others like you who got me to this point, who got me into the vortex. And to give you an example, emotionally, I was not where I am now. I was at a different vibrational level. So I've learned how to raise my vibration where I'm thinking more positive, and I'm doing a lot more creating for myself. When I was first introduced to you 5 years ago, I was over 400 pounds, and now I'm at my right size. So I've taken off over... Thank you.
We want to jump in just really briefly for something that we started to say a minute ago, and now we just can't stop ourselves. That is that when you talked about raising your vibration, we wanted to say by letting go of what wasn't natural. And the releasing of the unwanted weight is the same thing. Letting go of resistance and letting go of unwanted, it's the same thing. It's different than people think. They think that they're deliberately going to where they want to be, but they've already gone there vibrationally. So it's the letting go of the resistance that then allows them to be. Yes. I just wanted to throw that in quickly.
That's exactly where I am. A lot of other things have taken place. I'm definitely coming into my being, and I'm becoming a lot more relaxed about living the now. It's just amazing of where I was and where I am now, and I'm just looking forward to the journey that certainly is ahead of me. For 32 years, I've worked on a job that I think I was there because it financially supported me, and it was called, quote unquote, work. And now I'm feeling like I want to do what I really have a passion for. So in October, I am retiring, and I'm going to be starting to look at things that I really have a passion for and things that I really want to do. And one is I have this desire to help others because I've been there, done that in terms of the weight and being at a very low point and now at functioning at a different vibrational level. I'm interested in coaching, and I'm interested in counseling and helping others on a one-on-one to actually get to this space because it is absolutely wonderful. But there is one thing that I'm really having a challenge with, and that is with relationships. And I know that there are all sorts of relationships. For example, I knew that I didn't have a very good relationship with food, not a healthy relationship. I'm changing that around. I didn't have a good relationship with family members. Now I understand that what I was expecting from my family is not what they can give me. So I'm learning to now expand that and get it from others who look like my family and that I want to be in my life and in my vibration. But in terms of romantic relationships, I'm certainly still having an issue where I'm still having some challenges with that. And I came here with the intention that I want to ask you, I know that it's possible, but I can't seem to put together the right thoughts, the right formula for attracting that right soulmate or that mate for myself that I would like to have as a companion. And I wanted to just ask you and your friends about that.
It's interesting because in your question that you put to us are the words that are the answer, because people are looking for love in all the wrong places, and what you're actually looking for is the mating with your soul. In other words, as you speak of your family who can't give you what you want from a family, so you've replaced them with other people who are sort of filling the role of that family that can't seem to fill its own role. We want to say that's a little screwy because there is a version of them in your vortex that when you come into alignment with, their current behavior will not be important, and then those that match that come to you, and that's what's been happening. Now, the way that you quickly get to where you want to be on any subject, whether it's physical weight or physical well-being or financial well-being or relationship with a lover well-being or relationship with a family well-being, the way you get to where you want to be, and this sounds really funny to people who are standing there in the absence of something that they want, is by making peace with what is. Because when you make peace with what is, you change the vibrational frequency of it. When you make peace with it, you don't push against it. The thing that's interesting about all of this is that law of attraction is what's amassing the vibrational relationship anyway. People say it takes two to tangle, or two to tango, or two to have a fight, or two to have an argument. And what that's all about is law of attraction is bringing you together, and so you have to do something about shifting your vibration, because law of attraction is going to bring you to a rendezvous point with whatever and whoever is a vibrational match to you. So it's easy to talk with you about this because you've just had such wonderful success relative to a lot of things in your life. We just want to point out to you that as you say, well, this one was almost right, but this was missing and this was missing, you activate those unwanted things which make you a mismatch to the perfect partner. So making peace with where you are means not trying to rush it, giving it time, accepting that the perfect partner is there, and most of all, looking for the positive aspects in what is, which means enjoy your singularity or enjoy the occasional interaction that you have with people. When you have the occasional interaction, really emphasize in your own mind the positive aspects of it. You see, if a person comes into your experience and you're making that checklist comparison, then you're activating what's missing, which is holding you apart from what's wanted. In other words, it's like Esther attracting clumsy furniture delivery people. In other words, you cannot get there from there. You have to make peace with what is. And making peace with it means you have to deactivate the opposing vibration that you've got going on. We were explaining to a woman one day, she was talking about her ex-husband. And we were talking to her about making lists of positive aspects about him. She said, "Oh, Abraham, you misunderstood me. I don't want to get back together with him. I don't even want to have lunch with him." And we said, we're not trying to get you back together with him. We're trying to get you back together with you. So we're not trying to get you to line up with a perfect partner. We're trying to get you to line up with your soulmate. We're trying to get you to mate with your soul. We're trying to get you to become a vibrational match to the relationship that you've been putting here over a long period of time that is there vividly. And as you feel the satisfaction of that, then it must come. So, for example, did you feel the satisfaction that the audience felt on your behalf as you talked about what's been taking place over 5 years? They felt satisfaction for you because they knew you reached to a new place. And when you explained your success, those loving people listening in felt the satisfaction, and it wasn't even their experience. Can you imagine the satisfaction that you feel when you want something and you find a way to align with it, you see?
I felt the same satisfaction when I raised my hand and I had the intention of coming up here, and it immediately happened.
Satisfaction is intending and receiving. But the thing that we want you to understand, you see, here it is. You wanted to lose the weight and did. So the manifestation was satisfying. You wanted to raise your hand and get in the chair and did. So the manifestation was satisfaction. We want you to reach for the pre-manifestational satisfaction, which is what emotional satisfaction is. In other words, be satisfied for the feeling of it. Be satisfied for the thought. Jerry and Esther have a dear friend whose mother said often when someone offered something to her, she would say, "I will take the thought for the deed." And so Jerry and Esther's friend Audrey began saying that to them occasionally. I will take the thought for the deed. And it's Esther's favorite thing to say, because so many people would like to take them to dinner, or would like to show them their home, or would like to take them someplace special, or would like to honor them in some way. And there's just not time for all of that. And Esther will say, I will take the thought for the deed. She takes satisfaction just from the idea of it, even though the manifestation of it cannot be. There's not enough time to accommodate all that is coming, but there is an enormous satisfaction in the idea of it, you see. So as you take satisfaction from the idea of remembering that you are a deliberate creator, you take satisfaction from knowing that your vortex is a reality and that it exists. As you take satisfaction from knowing that it has to be, that it's a done deal. You take satisfaction from knowing that eventually it will be, and not that long. You take satisfaction from knowing that you can feel your way there. And you take satisfaction from the good life you're living, and the wonderful balance you feel, and the good life that's unfolding, and you make peace with it as it is, making long lists of the positive aspects of where you are. You release the resistance, which is the only thing that ever keeps you from complete satisfaction. So let's say what satisfaction is the absence of resistance, which allows the alignment with the fullness of your creation.
I so understand exactly what you're saying.
Yes, you do.
I really do. And I've learned how to love myself a lot better. I am so satisfied where I am now.
And so much more coming for you.
Yes.
We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. Good time for a segment of lunch. Have we convinced you that you are vibrational beings? Do you believe that we are vibration? Do you believe that this time-space reality inspires vibrational expansion? Do you believe that everything that you see in terms of manifestation was a vibrational reality first? Do you believe that this planet came into being because it was visualized? Do you believe that you are a vibrational interpreter, and that what you see and hear and smell and taste and touch and so on is your interpretation of vibration? Do you believe that what you see in your dreams are indicators of your vibration? Do you believe that your dreams are reality? Well, they're not really reality, but they're a sort of reality. They come from somewhere. In the same way that you see that your dream is something that is created by you, do you understand that your real life is something that's created by you? And does that make it easier for you to understand that this vortex is something that's created by you? And do you understand that in the same way that what is, in terms of the manifestation of your planet and its technology and your clothes and your body and your eyes and all the stuff that surrounds you, that it comes into seeable, smellable, hearable, tastable, touchable manifestation because enough attention to it has been given long enough that by law of attraction it must. It's evidence of vibration. Can you get that? And so therefore, does it follow that there is a vortex that is waiting for you, waiting to come into manifestational evidence, and that it could come sooner than later once you learn to align with it? Have we convinced you that if you could have less determination to dissect the realness of reality, and more soft willingness to feel the emotion of vibrational reality would become reality? That's all it takes to shift it. Esther couldn't find her gold pen. She looked everywhere. It was upsetting to her. She wanted this beautiful gold pen. She looked and looked and looked and looked. They moved to a new city. She thought, well, when I unpack everything, it will show up, but it didn't. She went through every pocketbook, every piece of clothing. The pen was lost. The pen was lost. The pen was lost. It was lost. It was lost. She could not find it. It was lost. She had lost the pen somewhere. That was the reality. The pen was not in her possession. She could not find it. She had searched every square inch of everything that she owned. The pen was lost. The reality was that it was lost. It was lost. And then one day, after she'd given up on the lost pen. She was looking for something else, and when she reached in the handbag, she came out with the pen. And it was so illogical because she had turned that handbag inside out. She had dumped it upside down. She had felt everywhere. But you cannot find something that defies what you believe. Your belief brings you the manifestation. In other words, manifestation follows belief. Manifestation follows expectation.